Hello, everybody. So I wanted to help you complete your work for today. So this is going to do a couple things. It's going to get you familiar with using Google Docs for MathType because guys, mathematics is one of the hardest subjects for distance learning, simply because it's so important that you do your work. Now, let me say this really quick. For many of you, I did change the sharing options. This is my end, but I changed the sharing options to actually, I'm going to do that right now to allow you to print it out. So if you think this could be beneficial for you, go ahead and print it out first, okay? But unfortunately, we do want to see you complete it online for your final answer. So for many of you, it's going to be extremely beneficial to print this out and do your work on here first and then retype your answers. And I realize that might be two steps, but that's what we have to do in this environment. But notice I kept the worksheet very short, only 5 questions. So I'm actually going to redo that for you guys, so don't worry. I'm actually going to basically give you 2 answers, but we'll talk about that in a second. So the way you complete this worksheet, this first one wasn't done for you. But basically what's going to happen here is always click in the spot. And then if you want to do MathType, you're going to go up to Insert Equation. And that's how you get fancy math symbols using Google Docs. Okay. So the primary symbols you would use in Algebra A would be like the square root. We won't use that too often for the rest of the year. But here would be the exponent, that XB, that would give you exponents, and then your fraction. Those are probably the 3 biggest symbols you would use, especially fraction and exponents. There's other symbols over here. Actually, when we get to inequalities, our next unit, you would use these symbols. These 2 right here, you could actually type just the greater than or less than by yourself. Here's some more of your basic symbols. So you would use, I guess, these 3 major ones right here, your basic math symbols, then your less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and then fraction, exponent. But let's say I'm doing this first one here. Well, it's always easiest to go from decimal to a percent or percent to decimal. So this one wasn't done for you, the one you'll get. But to do decimal to a percent, all I do is multiply by 100, and I don't need MathType for that. 3%, you should have those features on your keyboard. Now for the fraction, you probably do want MathType. So remember, to make any percent a fraction, all you have to do is put it over 100 and then reduce. So what I would do is I go up here, insert equation, and now I get the fraction. So I hit the fraction, and now I have to type in each spot 3, and I could arrow down or use my mouse to click on the denominator over 100, and I'm done. Now, if I need to show my work, let's say I would need to reduce, I hit equal sign, and now I type another one again. Now, for this problem here, you don't have to, actually, already giving me the MathType, you don't have to reduce, but let's say I did have to reduce, I would type my original problem. This is showing your work. So let's say it was 25 over 100. That's not the answer for this problem. But let's say it was 25 over 100. Well, then I would hit, already MathType, yes. So I would do the fraction, and now 1 over 4 that reduces to. So that's what we mean by showing your work. Let's do 2 other problems using MathType, and again, you can use these for yourself already. But let's do number 4 here, and this is what I mean by showing your work. Well, the first thing I do want you to do is recopy the is equals of times percent, because you're going to use that for every single problem. Now remember, you have to identify the is, the of, and the percent. So 50 is, that's going to go right here. So I'm going to go new equation. If that didn't pop up, we go to insert, okay? So 50 equals. Got to figure out the of next. The of is 66. So I'm going to type that in right here. And then what percent? Don't know the percent. That's going to be X. So that's the work we want to see. Now we still have to solve it. There's a way to show what you're doing to both sides of the equation. You should know by now, because 66 is being multiplied to x, we would divide both sides by 66 in this case. That therefore would be 50 divided by 66. So even though you're allowed to use your calculator, you would go again, insert equation, or it's already popped up here. So I would do 50 divided by 66, or you can use the division symbol up here if you really wanted to. So I would type that in my calculator. Equals. So again, I'm going to use my cell phone actually right now, believe it or not. You can use your cell phone too, as long as you're using it as a calculator. 75.7575 repeating. Now remember, we're rounding to the nearest hundredth. We always did that. I have to do one more thing for this problem. Because we're finding the percent, that is a decimal. This is a decimal. So we have to times that by 100. So now I'd write times by 100. Now this is the answer I'd round. 75.76 if we're rounding to the nearest 100, because if I times by 100, it'd be 7575. So this 7 tells that 5 to become a 6. So 76%. Hopefully that helps you with using MathType for your work for our class. And this is what we mean by showing your work. All the stuff I have right here, that's what you type. So again, I recommend for most of you, if not all of you, to print this out or write your work down on a separate sheet of paper first before using the MathType. But this is what you need to do on Google Classroom to get credit for your homework. So hopefully that was very helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know. Have a fantastic day.